Good evening, everybody. My name is Jonathan Trop. I welcome you all to the May 8th, 2025 meeting of Trumbull's Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Task Force. I call the meeting to order at 8:02 p.m. For those who are paying close attention and heard me say last time that I would not be able to be here, sorry to disappoint. My trial schedule, my trial settled, my case settled. In fact, we got the papers fully signed today, so I got my evening back, and I'm happy to join you. I would invite everybody to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For roll call, in addition to myself, we are joined by Shala Fleming, David Rosenberg, Rodney Gray, and Chris Powell, along with James Cordone, our attorney, Bill Chin, our technologist. I apologize, Bill, for butchering whatever your title is, and Joanne Glasser-Orenstein, our clerk. We have received no correspondence to the edit mailbox to speak of. I did receive a note of thanks from Michonne Landry in response to my email telling her that we were all set, and otherwise nothing that is worth mentioning. I think we have come to the portion of the evening for public comment. Bill, would you make any appropriate inquiries?
Sure. There are no members of the public in attendance at this time.
Okay, thank you. So with that, I'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is, I hope, the approval of the minutes of the meeting of April 10th, 2025. All of you should have received it. I believe that everybody in attendance tonight was in attendance at the last meeting except for Chris. So that means everybody is eligible to vote, except I assume Chris will abstain. I will invite a motion by anybody, including Chris.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the April meeting.
Thank you.
I'll
Is there a
second.
second? Thank you, David. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, that carries 4-0 with one abstention. Thank you, everybody. Hang on a minute. I'm just X'd out of my agenda. Sorry. These things don't take very long, but it feels like forever when you're trying to rush to do it. Next item on the agenda is our series of under old business, and the first of those is a diversity training update. There is an update to provide. I could do it, but maybe I'll invite Rodney if you would like to do that. You can have the honors. You're on mute, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess we could definitely say we've definitely gained some progress with Dr. Boyd's team that and Mr. Tom McCarthy, that we should be moving forward with the diversity training with Tom, and I believe it's the department heads of the town. I don't have the paperwork in front of me in terms of that date that they're scheduled to do the training. I saw that in the correspondence back and forth that Tom asked for the document again, that I forget the gentleman's name for Lorenzo's team, that they forwarded the document back to Tom, explaining basically a general consensus on what the training is about. And I mentioned that would the edit committee be able to attend the training course, which is about 3 hours, I believe. So we're still waiting on the answer from Mr. McCarthy to find out if the edit committee can attend the training with Tom and the department heads. So it's pretty pretty substantial. It's definitely progress, and I'm excited to see that we made that step forward. I was really impressed with their presentation on their approach to what the curriculum would look like, or at least the initial class would look like. So,
I'll just make a couple of observations. I'm not sure the date has been set, although I think they were looking at the week of May 26th. And I think that the first group that will experience the opportunity for this discussion, and that's what I think it's intended to be, is sort of a robust discussion of over a period of, as you say, about 3 hours, is the first selectman and her cabinet, and then how it gets rolled out beyond that, and whether Edit will participate or not to be determined. But it looks like this is going to move forward fairly soon, and that first foray will provide feedback that can then be used to shape the opportunity for further participation, perhaps. And so it's very exciting, as Rodney said. Shala, if you want to share any further insights or additional observations, I'll give you the floor for a minute.
Nothing additional. I just agree with the excitement and the movement on this. And I also was very impressed with David's presentation, and think that they have a very sort of thoughtful way of approaching this work. And so I am excited for this, what feels like very close opportunity to finally have some training going for some of our folks in Trumbull.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this before I move to the next agenda item? Okay.
I have
Next
a
up is
question. Hey, I have a quick question. And this is just me just learning. Is there a difference between the cabinet and the department heads, or is that pretty much the same?
Honestly, I don't know what defines either one. I see Bill nodding, but unless somebody who knows more than me can provide you with a better clarification, I don't have an answer.
Okay.
Good. This is Jim Cordona. I don't sit on the
Universal
cabinet,
sign
but
for
I
wait a minute, so we'll wait a minute.
Can you hear me okay?
Unless he's giving that sign to some other group.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Mr. Cronin.
Oh, no, go ahead, Mr. Chen. If you have the answer,
Jim,
you
did
sit on the
you
cab.
have something to add?
Yes, I do. So the cabinet is made up of some of the bigger departments. So it's the first selectman, her staff, Cindy and Kathy, the director of public works, George Estrada, Maria Pires, the finance director, Chief Michael Lombard, Rena Bacalar of economic and community development, and the HR director, Tom McCarthy. So those are members of the cabinet, which is just a tighter group of department heads, and then you have a host of other department heads: town clerk, myself, tax assessor, building, so on and so forth. So there are a number of other department heads that are not necessarily included in the cabinet, which meets weekly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next agenda item is the book club. We are confirmed for the two events that we discussed the last time. I confess I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but the Being Human book, I think, is going to be in July. Maybe while I'm speaking, Shala will rescue me and tell me the exact date.
Yes, July 28th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. And the other book that we had selected will be during a banned book week. Again, I don't know if there's an exact date, and I won't get the title exactly right, so Shala will correct me, but something like, shall we talk about race?
Yes, that one's October 6th at 6 p.m. And it's, yes, so you want to talk about race.
I was so close. Okay, thank you. Unless there's any further discussion of that, I look forward to both of those events and hopefully seeing all of you and our usual cast of characters and other members of the public. Shala.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that I'm going to connect with Kathleen about some additional advertisements. She's been really great about making the little flyers to be able to share on social media. So I will connect with her about the upcoming one in July.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm glad you were thinking of that. The next item, any further discussion on the book club? Okay. The next item on our agenda is an update on the townwide survey effort. Rick had been leading the charge, and he unfortunately has some kind of personal emergency tonight. I don't know what it is. Shala, I don't know if without him you have any insight. If so, the floor is yours. If not, we'll pass the agenda item.
Yeah, I don't have any additional information, unfortunately.
Okay. So we'll table that to next month. The next item on the agenda is an update regarding the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month event that we have tried now for more than a year to get off the ground. You may recall that last month I reported that we were likely going to have to forego it again this year for lack of funding. There was a development that gave me optimism briefly, which is that, and I want to say it out loud because it was very kind of them. The Connecticut Mirror agreed to waive its fees so that we could, in fact, do what we wanted. But what they are providing is digital images. And so we would still need a mechanism to create physical copies and put them up in the library. And I reached out to the first selectman's office on a few occasions and did not get was unable to get any assistance with that. And so this evening we have an email from the library asking whether we're going to move forward, and my plan is to respond to Kathleen and let her know that we are going to yield the space. But I wanted to have this report first and provide an opportunity for any discussion / epiphanies that might occur to anybody to salvage this. Okay, hearing none, I will let Kathleen know that we yield the space, and yet another lesson learned. Any further discussion on this one? Okay. Next up is, I guess, circling back on the invitation we were going to extend to Sustainable Fairfields Equity Committee members to attend our meeting in June. Rodney, I think you were going to make that invitation. I don't know if you have, and if so, response.
Yeah, I reached out to Mary, and they seem to just they go back and forth on their main thread. So I don't know if my personal email is going to her junk box, but I did send out an invite and asked if she would be willing to come to one of our meetings, but I haven't heard back. So I'm going to call her this week or next week actually, and then see if we can get her on the agenda for June.
Okay. Obviously, don't need to have that answer tonight, but we do want to have that answer, in the next couple of weeks so that we can make sure that it's on our agenda or not.
Sure.
So just let me know when you hear, and thank you very much.
You're
Any further discussion on this one? Okay. We may be headed towards our world's shortest meeting, which I suspect no one will complain about, especially since we started half an hour late. But or I should say on time, but half an hour later than usual. Shala, the last item on the agenda says additional invitations to monthly meetings. That was your agenda item back when we thought you were going to run the meeting, and I confess I do not know what that agenda item is. So would you
Yes.
help me out?
Yes, absolutely. So I wanted to just surface as we think about like the invitation for Sustainable Fairfield, and also, Rena Bacalar visited us several months ago, but wanted to have us think about whether there are other groups or entities or people that we might want to invite to our committee meetings to be able to chat with them. And so one example that occurred to me as a possibility is in my capacity as the co-chair of the PTA Diversity Committee at my kids' elementary school. A while back, I received outreach from, I think, some parents who are part of SEPTA, I believe is the name of the group, which is a group that um, works to support children with special needs here in Trumbull. And so it occurred to me that perhaps we might invite someone from that group to come and talk about what the work they're doing and see how we might be able to collaborate or support their work. And then I know Rodney had sent an email recently about a colleague or friend who does similar work in Bristol, and they had some event that seemed like it was well received. And so, yeah, just wanted to float the idea of whether we would want to consider other folks or other groups or other entities that we might want to invite to speak with us to either just, hear about what they're doing or to think about ways to collaborate and partner.
No, that's a great idea. Those are good suggestions. And we have a history on this committee, as you know, of inviting people to our meetings. We've had, I think, Chief Lombardo a couple of times. Superintendent Semmel came at least once. The first select woman joined us at least once, and we've had others. Um, in addition to those that you mentioned, we might consider inviting someone from the cabinet to talk to us about their experience in the training, if they've had it. That might be an interesting report from that perspective. And there are undoubtedly others whom we might invite either for a return visit or for a first visit. And so your suggestion of someone from SEPTA, I think, is a good one. And I would be open and receptive as well to the person from Bristol or others who are toiling in the same vineyards that we are. What do others think?
That's why I sent you all the link to the event that my coworker friend, who is the chair of the Bristol Diversity Council for in Bristol, and the community event or community gathering they just did, and there was basically an open forum in the public library, and it looks like it was definitely well received. So I haven't met with him yet, but we're supposed to speak about it. So he actually came to one of our meetings sometime this year. One of our meetings this year. He just came as a guest. His name is Marcus, and he hung out for about a half hour, and then he stepped out. But I think he would be more than happy to come in and share what they do, and maybe he could be one of the guests as well.
So I don't intend, I don't mean to speak for the committee, but I will voice my thought that if others are amenable, you chat with him, and if he's got an interest in coming to talk with us about the work they're doing in Bristol, I certainly would be happy to have him on the agenda and talk to us for 15 minutes about that work. What do others think about that?
I think it's a great idea.
All right, I'm seeing
Yes.
some interest, and then SEPTA would be I think a different perspective for us. It's not something that we have focused on, but it is very much part of what I think our mission is. And if folks are interested, I would be only too happy to have Shala have a similar chat and see if they're interested in coming to one of our meetings. Again, I guess I see nodding.
Yes.
Any discussion on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea.
So Shala, by all means, have that conversation too, and we can see where people fit, whether we have more than one person in June or we spread them out over time. We can certainly make those invitations. Do others have thoughts about additional people whom we might invite? And I thank Shala for putting it on the agenda. This now provides an opportunity for people to think between now and June, and we can revisit this again in June and see if there are additional invitations that have occurred to people in the interim.
I don't have any specific suggestions, but I think that by if we've got a couple we can reach out to now, I think that the dialogue with them could actually open up the doors to things we hadn't even thought of. Activities to get involved with, things that they do that they find successful. I think that I think it's a great idea to reach out to other organizations.
Okay. Any further discussion under new business? Then that's our agenda. I will invite another motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
All right. Thank you.